Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I'm back on Peter once again by Nick as we go over his latest Helku deck. Now Nick's been on Helku since I think day one.
This was the only archetype I bought into on when the set 14 came out.
And you know what? It came to handy today. He went 3-0 today. He tied with me, but because I was paired down, he won. Whatever.
Technicality.
Well, let's get into this. Like always, buttons on below. Feel free to click them. But Helku.
Right. So we're going to start with the leader. Standard, pretty much when this card attack draws a card. The auto is when the archetype comes into play and when it's actually really good. So if you have 2 or more energy, when a yellow battle card is revealed on the top of your deck and placed in your drop area, you can draw a card, untap an energy, put yourself down to 5 life and flip the card over. And then you do have the optional awaken at 4. You draw 2. You always want to try to get the auto off so you can get the awaken early, but really good effect to start off. And then on the awaken side, we have Return from Hell. Probably one of my favorite yellow leaders in the game. I mean, just a good generic kind of leader, but still really powerful. So when it attacks, you draw 2, put one on the top of your deck. So you have a lot of influence on what you're drawing and what you're seeing. So it's really easy to get your right pieces on the top of the deck to play. And then activate main, you can add up to 1 Android 18 Defender of Heroes from your deck to your hand, then place 1 card on the top of your deck. This is just a consistency piece to help get you your unison because it's very important for the deck. You need it in order to keep yourself consistent, so it's very important to do that. And then you have an activate main for Spirit Boost 1. You reveal the top card of your deck, place it in the drop area. So you can always have your Spirit Boost active if you have a unison in play, of course, but the leader guarantees you always have that. So we'll go into the actual archetype stuff. So we have 4 of the Android 18 Defender of Heroes. This is one of the linchpin, probably the linchpin of the deck. It's auto once per turn when you remove a marker using a Spirit Boost skill. You can choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode, so your leader will proc that. So you always have a battle card in rest mode when you're playing. +2, look at the top 3. Put the cards in any order, so you can influence the right cards you want on the top of your deck, so you can do the effects to play cards. And then activate main for -2, draw 3, put 2 on the top of your deck. Both effects are super good. One of the downsides is it is a 4K unison, so it's very squishy. So you kind of want to play this as turn 1. Just kind of hope your opponent can't remove it because it's very easy to get removed. So but if you open with it, it's usually okay to keep. Then we have 4 Trip to Hell. Another one of the archetype, very good, consistent piece. It's a 0 cost, but there's the activate main for 1 yellow. For your leader card's a yellow Goku GT, you'll draw 2, put 1 on the top of your deck, reveal it, place it in the drop area. And then it has a second activate main for limit 1. For leader card is yellow. Then you have 3 or more energy. You can just reveal the top card of your deck, place it in the drop area. So this is the early game starter piece to get your leader awakened. So you'll do the for 1 energy and then you get the awakened, so it's essentially free when you do this. And then we have 3 of the self-restraint Son Goku. This is one of the guys that'll play when you place it in the drop area after you reveal it. It's a blocker, so it's a really good defensive tool, but for 1 energy, if you do the effect where you reveal it, place it in the drop area, you can play it. And then auto, you can draw a card and you can place up to 1 card from the to the top of your deck, so you don't have to, you just get a free draw off of it, and then you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So just one of the yellow parts where you just switch stuff to rest mode. Then the main guy you want to play is 4 of the SS4 Son Goku, the Brawler. Deflect, Double Strike. He has the same effect as the SS Goku, where if you reveal it, place it in the drop area, you can play it. And then it has an auto when it's played. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it. So this gets rid of everything, ignoring barrier. So if your opponent wants to be aggressive, you can just pop their pieces. If your opponent has a key piece on board they want to keep, switch it to rest mode with the unison, pop it with this. Really good card, absolutely 4 if you want to see this as early as possible and get it off. And then one of the new things I added to the deck is the Slug Engine. So we have 3 Lord Slug, Evil Invader, 3 Lord Slug, Super Namekian. Pretty self-explanatory. The Slug, you get it on board, you tap 1, you play this guy. This guy is absolutely amazing. I don't know why Bandai did not hit this, but Good for me. Barrier, bond, unique. When this card's in rest mode, your opponent can't add cards to their hand using non-leader card skills. So this just shuts off so many decks. Decks that rely on their battle cards to draw unison cards. Anything that adds a card to their hand, searchers, you can just say no. Really easy to get out on the board just for a 2 energy investment, and then you just keep it there. And really super good. And then we have another key staple, Poutine. Another really broken card. If your leader card's yellow and you switch up one of your opponent's cards to rest mode with a skill, you can play this card. You do a lot of resting, as you can see early on, so you have a lot of ways to get this out. And if you have this and Lord Slug on board, your opponent's pretty much not going to draw cards because both of them have barrier. Really good card. Absolutely wonderful. Now, the super combo choice, Krillin, Moments for Comeback. It's one of the bottom deck draw 2s. I see this a lot when I play, so it's really, really good, and then you just get yourself down to 4 really quickly from the leader, taking yourself down to 5. So this is live very quickly, so really good card to have. And then more into just the generic yellow good stuff. We have 3 Basil Fatal Rampage. You're going to be resting mode, switching a lot of cards to rest mode, so this is going to be live very quickly. You draw a card when it's played, so it's a cantrip, and then you can also gain 14,000 or 15,000 in dual attack. So really good for closing out, swinging at unisons, just getting more swings on board. So really good card, like it a lot. Then we have 2. The Steadfast Assistance Son Goku's. This is one of the newer cards that came out last set. I like it a lot. It's just a 1 cost. Counterplay, your opponent's battle card being played is played in rest mode, then you draw a card, so it replaces itself. Really good investment, and then if you have extra cards in your drop area and energy, it reduces the cost, so it'll be a 1 cost. And then you do run a lot of extra cards in this deck, so it's live pretty quickly. Now, more generic stuff. We got Turles All Too Easy. Another one of the newer SRs from the latest set. Pretty self-explanatory, just broken as hell. Double strike. When you play this card, you'll KO a battle card in rest mode. Then you have the option to either draw a card or KO another battle card. So tons of removal with this deck with the other SS4 Son Goku and this. And then for 2 energy, if your leader card's yellow and you have 3 or more energy, you play this card from your hand. So get it out really cheap. Lots of removal, double strikes, drawing cards, really good. And now for one of the biggest finisher of the deck, we have Return of the Dragon Fist. Card busted. Deflect, double strike. You can KO 2 battle cards in rest mode when you play it for 3 energy. Spirit Boost 2, this will gain dual attack, and then your opponent can't activate card skills with battle cards, energy cost 7 or less. So this will turn off your opponent's super combos if you're going for game. This will turn off their floodgates if they're playing battle cards that are floodgates. This hits so many things, and then your opponent just says, okay, well, I guess you just keep to get your attacks through. So, like it.
Just petrify it.
No. Now, for just the extra cards, we have Final Flash. Not much to say about it. It's been in most yellow decks for a while, so I run it at a 2 of. I like it at a 2 of. It's more of like a oh crap button. If your opponent wants to swing big, you turn off their skills, so you take only 1 damage if they swing with like triple strikes or something. It's good at a 2 of. You don't really need to do more. Then we have 2 Frieza Army Reinforcements. This is a really important piece to see early on, especially when you awaken, because if you're at 5 life, you'll take a life to go down to 4. So this is an easy way to turn your super combos on for pretty much nothing, and then you get a blocker, so you can stop 2 attacks with it. I kind of want to bump this up to 3, but I think 2 is a nice medium where it's at.
You draw a lot, I feel like.
You have a lot of influence with the leader, so it's really easy to pick the right card at the right time. Now, 3 Forbidden Power. I've always been on the fence about either this or Nimbus, because they both do more or less the same thing, but this one just lets the attack go through, but you don't have to drop a card for the investment. So, and you have a lot of blockers with the Frieza Armor Reinforcements and the Goku and the SS Goku, so I kind of like this card a little bit more, and it has the flexibility with the Activate Battle. You can draw a card, you can get plus 10,000 power for the battle if it's your turn, and you can switch a rest mode to battle card ignoring barrier, so I like this one a little bit more. Then we have Robotic Riposte. You switch a ton of battle cards to rest mode, and you have a lot of extra cards in this deck, so it's really easy to make this live as early as turn 2. Essentially, you just play to floodgate your opponent. They have to switch something to rest mode they want to attack with non-unison cards, so this will make your Poutine easy to get out, and then just floodgate your opponent, makes them limited, especially if you're playing against aggro decks. This will just stop them in their tracks. Now, for all the 1-ofs, Cooler, counter. If you're going for game, if you're turn 3, 4, 5, this comes live. You draw cards, your attack still goes through. So not much to say about that. We run the 1 Bardock and the 1 Champa for the instruction. Easy overwhelm. You don't really use your drop area that much, so no brainer. For the instruction Champa, give everything double strike. So just your staples for yellow at this point. We won the 1 Bergamo. Card's good. There's a reason why it's limited. This is just a really good defensive piece if your opponent wants to keep swinging, if you have Robotic Riposte online. There's so many things. There's so many ways to rest my battle cards. This card is always going to be live, no matter whose turn it is, what turn it is. So it's just kind of you have to keep it in the deck just because it's so valued. The new limited errata list, Pyro Super Saiyan in a 1 of. Sucks that it's in a 1 of, but it's understandable just because of all the free value. But just another one of those pieces to turn all your cards on. So, and then Secret Rare Choice, Super 17, Sibling Absorb. I love this card. I loved it ever since they announced it. Just the fact that you get to Cold Bloodlust in any yellow deck. You get to remove a battle card in rest mode, ignoring barrier. Then you have a 40 crit on board. This has won me so many games. This has stopped floodgates, and it's only for 1 energy, so it's a really easy investment to do. I love this card. I think every yellow deck should run it.
It's definitely a great card. But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's profile. Once again, Nick technically won, even though I was also 3-0. But hey,
We'll never know.
no, I probably would have beaten you.
I don't know. I got floodgates.
I have petrification. Oh, again, just sidetracking it. Buttons down below. Feel free, oh my goodness, to click them. And know your cards, know your plays, and fluff out.